A little while ago, Aaron, also known as Maven Fiction, came down to the studio and we captured a conversation we had in the live room. This conversation ended up being over an hour long, so I've chopped it up into 3 different parts. And in this part, we talk about demos, production, and serving the song. Enjoy. I think it's interesting that because obviously there's a massive amount of people that record demos at home. So sometimes these demos are almost full productions before they can even come through the door, and it's working out where I fit within that production sometimes. So you could have they've recorded it to a drum beat, and that drum beat is now cemented in their mind, and there's no way of getting out. Whereas if you go back to the days of recording on a cassette recorder, like it would just literally be maybe a kick drum for a metronome, like on a drum machine, and an acoustic guitar. So look, that those times have changed. I often like working on projects where the initial idea was demoed on a phone, because like you've got the whole kind of wealth of options from that point, and there's not necessarily a lot of preconceived ideas. But again, it depends, because we're in a point now where there's so much self-funding going on, and it's often within the self, like if you're self-funding, as you alluded to, you kind of, the song's very precious, and you don't necessarily have that external influence saying, no, this is going to sell better, or this is how we plan to market it once it's recorded. So
it's kind of sad in a way, because that does get cemented into like your young artists, and like myself included. And then like say, like I changed my whole workflow, because when I was going to the studio and I would have these fully formed demos that could live in their own rights, and then the song would be just stripped apart and then built back up, and it wouldn't even resemble it. And like, as it happened, because the production was really good, it usually ended up better than I could have ever envisaged. And I had to just put my pride to the side and sort of say, no, we've made a better record here. We've genuinely made a better record here. But like on the other side of it is like, I always like sort of like we sort of spoke about, I maintain that like whatever I produced there was the record.
Yeah.
And actually know that, you've got the song and you've got the recording, and the song can just take as many forms as it needs to, can't it? And it'll be better suited to better situations in different packaging, and it comes back to how are you going to package that up? And you can translate an emotion in a million different ways through the same song, and they all just live in their own rights. And I think that's like important in itself, So like if I came to work with you, or when I come to work with you, I want different versions of, like, I've got about 10, 15 songs in that I haven't done anything with, but that deserve a run out, if you like. But I don't want to limit them to 10 or 15 recordings. They can be an acoustic version, a piano version, they could be a full band version. Yeah. We might even just do something that just sounds different again, really minimal, electronic,
But even a full band with different players on a different day, like it'll be a different vibe, different song. So like, it is interesting. And again, you give a song to I don't know, 10 different producers, you're going to come out with completely different results, even with the same, or even mixers with the same
Peter
ingredients.
Gabriel does an interesting thing now where he will send he always has a light version and a dark version of the same mix. So they're not track different or different instrumentations. Everything's in there that could have been in there. and then it's at the producer's discretion of what they use. And Chad Blake's one of them. I can't think who tends to mix the light. Chad Blake's always the dark version, of course. You know, like where everything's a lot crunchier. But like he'll do a dark and a light version of every song he puts out now. And that in itself, even just that, where it's the same track, you've had one day of tracking, you've got more than you need. You've sent it to them. You've got two flavours of the same song. And then they both deserve to live in their own right.
I think they do, but it also comes back to that interesting kind of conversation we were just having before about committing down. It's you just said yourself, you've recorded more than you need, and then you kind of you're giving it to someone else to wrestle with those ideas to try and mix. And I always think it's interesting going down that route, but it's also interesting going, actually, we have really committed the song to be this from this recording. And again, you could do it on a different day and record it differently, but it is interesting, yeah.